It's 6:30, guys. Welcome to the Columbus DJ Podcast, episode 23. I'm here with three of my best friends. This is going to be an absolutely amazing podcast. We have so much to talk about, so I don't want to spend too much time on the intro. But back from the gulag is DJ Corrupt, my co-host. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Just got my workout in. You know, I feel good right now. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, man. I'm glad you made it out of the gulag.
Possible.
Good.
Yeah, he had Rusty spotting for him sometime over last week. He did what he needed to do, and now he's back. So,
Bro. Oh yeah, dude. I'm sorry I missed last week, dude. Shout out to Caffrey and Jonah Maddock, though, man. That was a good episode.
For sure. Like I said, guys, so much to talk about. A lot of new gear releases. These two have a lot to talk about, tons of experience. And then both of them have, kind of parlayed their DJ abilities into management skills. I mean, Kyle can't even step away from work. He's at work right now. So, Ben, let's start with you, man. Tell us who you are and, your story.
Yeah, so my name is Ben Wallace, a.k.a. DJ B WALL. Started DJing back in 2009. I was a junior in college at that point, and it was one of those things. I'd been frequenting the bars down at Ohio State and seeing a lot of really good DJs, listened to them, really enjoyed music. Never DJ'd a day in my life prior to that. One of the bars that we used to go to quite a bit, Lido's, which is up on North Campus on High Street, little dive bar. They had a DJ that left for one reason or another. And I kind of was talking with the manager one night and said, yeah, I could do that if you want. He goes, all right, you're starting next Friday. So 2 hours later, I ordered the Newmark NS7 online. It was at my place the following week. And I DJ'd very poorly the first weekend. It was awful. Actually was a pretty bad DJ for probably the first month or so. And then I finally started to pick it up a little bit. I've always had a passion for music, just have never been talented enough to sing or play any instruments. So I went to the next best thing, in my opinion, which was DJing and making people dance and have a good time at Ohio State's campus. So that's just a little bit about my story. I'm sure we'll get into more throughout the evening, but happy to be here with you guys. Happy to be hanging out with DJ Corrupt, DJ Haze, and DJ Access. Should be a good evening.
All right, man. Corrupt, you want to start with the follow-up questions? I mean, there's a lot to he's acting like he only been DJing for a month and he made it on the podcast. There's a lot of history.
No.
Well, yeah, just talk about are you still getting to play? You still getting to mess around with it? Obviously you did your thing on campus and did it well, but just talk about what some of your favorite genres were to play and
yeah, so you guys want more of a full story right now. So I started up there at Lido's, it's a small bar. So they started with, minimal dance floor, if anything. We kind of built it up to be kind of the hangout after a lot of the Ohio State Buckeye Barbecue Club events that happened. So I was the president of that for 3 years. That's where I met Mike back when he started DJing for us at Buckeye Barbecue Club. So it ended up being like the after party spot. So they ended up having 100 plus people in a small bar dancing and having a good time. So from Lido's, I kind of made my way down south, so on campus. Next spot I went to was McFadden's for a little bit. I DJ'd there probably for half a year, somewhere in that ballpark. And then I eventually met Kyle over at Big Bar. Met him through a friend, Tyler, a.k.a. DJ 550.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. He passed away in 2017. I bought my first set of Technique 1200s from him. And while making that purchase, I met Kyle when he was a DJ over at Big Bar. And we became really good friends since then. Fast forward a little bit after Big Bar and stuff, I became the resident DJ at Brothers, which is downtown on Park Street. That's where I met a lot more of the DJ crowd and got a lot closer to people like Matt Magic, DJ Duct Tape, DJ Flash, Kid Basic, those kind of guys. Obviously I've met James a couple years before that, I think, seen a couple of your shows.
Yeah.
And we kind of had another side friendship with the website business as well. So met a lot of those guys downtown, really enjoyed the residency that I had at Brothers, started spinning at Novak's every once in a while, kind of bounced around from spot to spot. while doing all that stuff, I also became a mobile DJ. Found out there's a pretty good niche here in Columbus doing weddings and corporate events. So that's when I really started to turn my focus to really putting on a really good performance for brides and grooms around the Columbus area. It got to the point in probably 2011 when I was getting more requests to be a wedding DJ than what I could handle on my own. And that's when I started Beat Squad Entertainment, and has turned it into a pretty good business here in Columbus. We have about 15 DJs that work for us in different aspects. About 10 of them are wedding specific DJs for us. The other 5 guys kind of fill in the gaps for us. So yeah, we've done a number of different events throughout the state of Ohio, a lot of weddings, a lot of corporate events for different large companies around Columbus, and looking to continue to grow that company here in Columbus, and then hopefully start reaching out to other states. So when Kyle was over in Utah, I'm sure he'll share a little bit about that when he's out there. We had a Beat Squad Entertainment Utah branch, which was pretty cool for us to kind of grow out to the West Coast, Midwest, I suppose. So yeah, I'm kind of feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but that's kind of
no, that's good.
A short 3-minute story of how we got from being a DJ at a dive bar to running a DJ company here in Columbus.
McFadden's used to be low key like the party spot.
Yeah,
that was my jam.
If you wanted to have a good time, man, you went to McFadden's. There was always.
I lived in the
Gateway,
shit. So I was there way too often.
Oh yeah.
Remember the VIP list that they used to have?
Oh yeah.
The VIP list. You used to sign up and they would just randomly pick you.
I just remember like a ton of girls on the bar. That's all I remember. I'll be honest with you. Just dancing on top of the bar.
Yes.
Mike shaking his head. But anyway, I mean, dude, you're great at the website thing too. So I didn't get to see you DJ much. I'll be honest with you, but I knew you. I knew you were a DJ. But I can just imagine that you were just as good at that craft. I think it's amazing that you have all these DJs working under you, and you're getting them work. That's an awesome business. I hope that continues to grow for you. That's something that I, like back in the day, considered doing myself. Weddings ended up being an uncomfortable niche for me to stay in, but like I think it's a great business to be in. I mean, I see Mike doing crazy well with it too, so it's like I'm proud of you guys for doing it.
Yeah, so we actually brought Mike on board with us. What was it, Mike? About 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
Started to become part of the Beat Squad team. So it takes a team effort, man. It's definitely just not me that's running the show. It's Mike, it's Kyle, and all the guys that put forth the effort on our team. It's a team effort. So it takes a team to really make a company succeed, not just 1 or 2 people.
Nice.
I want to ask you about 2 things, Ben. You had a mix that I'm going to go ahead and say you were famous for. I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about, what was the other thing I want? Oh, what was your favorite show? Like maybe the moment where you were like, all right, I've made it as a DJ. We're past the Lido stuff, we're past the BS gigs, but like you were DJing, and you're like, this is it.
Yeah, so there's probably 2 that were remarkable for me and really stand out. One is the Buckeye-thon events. So Buckeye-thon at Ohio State, they raise money doing a dance marathon for kids that have cancer, so for different treatments and to make those kids kind of have fun as well. So probably one of the biggest things with them was in 2017. I put on one of the rave hours with them, and DJ Leak was my MC that night. And we had a couple, during that time, it's an hour and a half of mixing, and it's banger after banger after banger. And they gave us a couple songs that we weren't allowed to play, one of which was Seven Nation Army, because they know that everybody's going to be jumping at the same time, and it's a lot of stress when they have it at the Ohio Union up on the 2nd floor in the Archie Griffith ballroom. So I took that on as a challenge myself that year. I'm not going to play the songs that are on your list, but I'm going to find some other ones to get people to do the similar thing, because they told me 2 weeks prior that they were bringing in engineers for that building from the UK. And the reason why they flew them all the way in was to make sure that under the stress that all these people are doing to that floor, that they don't have a building collapse on them. So those guys all stayed on the 1st floor, which was right below the dance ballroom. And it got to the point I played a Don Diablo remix, and it hit so hard. Everybody was jumping at the same time. The engineers came up an hour after the show and said, just so you know, the floor was fluctuating 6 inches both up and down. So that's how much of an elastic kind of floor they had. So it was kind of cool. It was also very scary because I was playing on Technique 12,000 or 1200s, which was awful for that because the needle was just bouncing the entire time. So I was in internal mode probably 50 to 60% of that show, just because there was no way to keep that thing running without it.
That was an awesome year, Ben, because I played the night after you with DJ Show, and they told me kind of how much you had rocked it and about the floor thing. And so I think maybe I had like maybe 10 minutes to go, and like, all right, the engineers want you to play one more song, like the one that you can make them jump up and down to more. And I had some Sandstorm remix, and I hyped it up on the mic, and oh man, dude, it was like you were saying. Like I think I was using CDJs, and I was still having it. My laptop was going. I had to tape my laptop to my stand so that it wasn't, going off the thing. So yeah, man, I agree. Buckathon is in my top.
Pictures look amazing from that. Yeah,
it's a great party. Everybody's there for the right cause, and when it hits the rave hour time, they've probably been dancing, for 8 to 10 hours by that point, and by that point, they're just ready to just go hard. Because that's their last thing, and then it's on to the next shift. So it's a blast, man. It's really cool.
Nice. Hey, Kyle, let's swing over to you, man. Talk about your journey and where people can find you DJing, and just go freestyle it.
Just go in, huh? I didn't make notes. Unlike Ben, I'm freestyling it here. So I started DJing back in, I'm old, guys. So 2000, 2001. I was in a college fraternity at Northern Kentucky University. We were having a party one year, and they were like, hey, we got to rent a DJ. And I raised my hand and said, it can't be that hard to play some music and make people dance. From that point in time, took off. A couple of my buddies in fraternity were promoters at nightclubs and stuff, so I sort of got my foot in the door early. Back then, though, it wasn't like it is now, where you can buy a laptop and some gear and just roll right in. Like I had to shadow the club DJ for 6 months to a year. Jay Downs at the waterfront at Rumba down in Cincinnati, across the bridge in Northern Kentucky by Cincinnati. One of my mentors, him and Mark McFadden, I would go out and watch them play, style my stuff after them, do what they were doing. Finally, I got put onto a college night and started doing my own thing from there. Like I said, my friends were promoters. We did I can't even think the name of the bar. It's been so long ago. Dude, it just dropped out of my mind. Anyhow, moved on to different bars, met a couple of new people at NKU, did some hip-hop shows. My boy Troy, Country Boy Entertainment, we opened up for Nappy Roots at NKU. Then we moved on to more college nights, more bars. From there, met up with a couple guys in Cincinnati that I call my lifelong friends. Brandon Perry, Josh User, DJ Identity, DJ J Crew. We all sort of hung out together, DJ'd together. We started Model Citizen Sound, me, J Crew, and Identity. In between all that, I did some raves. Man, I've been around the block with some different things. Started off doing college parties, to doing underground shows, to doing club things. So I've had my hands, I guess, in the multi-genre universe for quite some time. When it wasn't cool to be multi-genre at the time, you had your club DJs, then you had your hip hop DJs, and then your underground DJs at that time. So the cool kids weren't the kids playing to everybody. It was the kids playing those specific events. But I really loved music, so I kept going with it. Long story short, fast forward, moved to Columbus. I moved to Texas first, I'd say that. So I had some residencies in Cincinnati. Let's go back to there. Club Claw, Top 25, Condé Nast Travelers magazine, from Boston to Beijing. I was the resident DJ there. We turned that into Purgatory, and then opened up Club Bang after that, all sort of upscale bottle popping clubs before their time in Cincinnati. From there, I moved to Texas for a little while, played in Texas, met a couple cool DJs down there, Danny West, DJ Envious, played at a couple spots, couple bars, did a couple I guess, scratch DJ style events at Macy's and a lot of different corporate things down there. Spent a year in Texas, moved to Columbus, and first off, I met Duct Tape and Matt Magic. They were homies with a friend of mine out of Cincinnati, Todd, DJ Cyberspeed. He said, hey, hit Matt Magic up. He's been homies for a while. I hit them up, and I think they were playing at what's Granero? What used to be
Mosaic.
Diesel before then,
Diesel,
right? Diesel. So it's back then. Yeah. It was Diesel. I met those guys. I think I opened up for Aaron one night at Diesel, or it might have been Mosaic. I don't know. I remember it being Diesel at some point in time. Met those guys. We've been cool ever since. From there, joined a little DJ crew called Next Level Artist, DJ Fuse. Fusemania from DMS, DJ Simo from DMS, myself, Tony C, another guy named Jake the Ripper. That's when we came into Big Bar. That's where I met Mike. They brought us in. We were doing monthly residencies there, sort of traveling in and out. Met Mike from there. That all fell through with the whole like Next Level thing. I got offered the resident DJ job there. Turned that into management, DJing and management, rocking the Columbus, the Ohio State football scene for a while at Tiny Gate and at Big Bar. Did that for, I don't even know how many years, 7, 8 years before moving to Utah. Moved to Utah. We were gone for about 2 years in Utah. Met a lot of cool people out there, DJ'd, did a lot of weddings, did a lot of traveling between Park City, Salt Lake City. DJ'd at some nice nightclubs out there. Park City, I was at a place called Downstairs. Salt Lake City, I was at a place called Sky. And then at this casino called the Golden Nugget out in West Wendover, which is, well, we can talk about that later, but it's like Nowheresville, right off the salt flats of Utah. And then came back here, bought a partnership into Big Bar, was there from August till January, ended up selling it. And now I'm here GMing the Beeline in Easton and still DJing, still doing weddings, clubs, bars, whatever we can do. I don't know, man. I've been around the block.
Jason said, your boy Jason said you played Jekyll as well in Cincy?
Oh yeah, Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, I could. There's so many places I can name. The Exchange, Jekyll and Hyde. We did what we call Catfish Thursdays before even catfishing was even cool. If you guys know what I mean by catfishing. Was it Spy Club? I think was one of the college. Man, if you name it in Cincy, if you look back from 2001 to 2009. Like I played the spots. Like it was a point in time when Identity, myself, and J. Crew, and then Fusemania and Simo were the young cats then, and they came up and took over some spots. Tony C was holding it down, but we played all the hot spots. If you went to a bar, you were seeing one of us play.
So Park City, I played there once, and the place you just described called Downstairs sounds like the place I might have played. Is there an entertainment place right above it?
Yeah, Park City Live.
Yes.
Yeah.
I played that downstairs spot. It's so intimate and like bougie.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I was gonna say, you being with Scam, you probably that's probably exactly where you played at. Because,
I opened for Oakenfold there. It was so random. It wasn't even Scam. It was, I don't even know how I got it.
Gotcha. Yeah, because Salt Lake City is like, I would say it's like the stepchild of like Vegas and California. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so close. Flights are like nothing, so they could bring those DJs in. I was fortunate enough to meet and be friends with a lot of people who DJ Sprite, Scooter and Lavelle, who I've been homies with for 17, 18 years now. That's actually how I got the Park City stuff, was through DJ Scooter. But I got to meet a lot of people. What was cool is EV came out there a lot. So I got to kick it with EV while we were out in Salt Lake City. So two Ohio people kicking it on the, I guess you'd say Midwest, West Coast.
Yeah, it sounds like you had an incredible journey, man. Definitely with old school and new school DJs. But it sounds like you were definitely tight. I mean, Fusemania is the guy, Scooter, all those guys have been dominant in the DJ scene, open format DJ scene, editing.
I remember it's like almost all of direct music service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Pretty awesome.
I remember when Fuse first started working on Ableton. Like I think Identity might have showed him how to warp tracks, and if he pops up on the chat, he can probably tell you. But I think he might have helped them learn how to warp tracks or something like that back in the day. Like because nobody was really doing editing, and they took off. Him and Simo took off with the editing stuff, and left us all, sort of in
just downloading.
Yeah.
So my boy Stevie D is a DJ, kind of newer compared to like your guys' experience. He wants to know what your favorite city was to play in. You both can go, but Hayes first.
Favorite city to play in? Oh man, that's a tough one. Energy-wise, I'd say Columbus, man. There's nothing like playing an Ohio State Buckeye game with thousands of people watching a football game and just being able to go into halftime and rock just a pure set of everything possible. Like, and nothing goes wrong. You can't fail, and just the energy that comes from Ohio State tailgate is not – I mean, it's festival, That's basically it. Sure. It's like the same energy you get as at a festival, and you can't go wrong. Anything you say, do, play – is hype, and it's just amazing experience.
Same thing for me. I mean, I've only DJed in Columbus for the most part. I've done a couple of sporadic things outside of the city, but Buckeye-thon was huge for me, and then obviously the Little Bar stuff when I've been over there doing the Tiny Gate DJing with Kyle.
Oh yeah, dude, Little Bar
DJing for for Ohio State games. It's top in the city for sure. It's probably hands down the best tailgate for party.
People outside Columbus don't realize how good we have it here with Ohio State being right there. They're like, oh, it's a small city. I'm like, Ohio State makes it like double the city, essentially.
Yeah.
The campus of Ohio State is bigger than my hometown.
Flag City, USA, baby.
Yep. Findlay, Ohio is smaller than Ohio State student body, which is just
so
insane.
crazy. It's insane.
Kyle, you know me, I got to ask you a question. Okay, so I think there's a lot of DJs that start in one city and, maybe they have to move or they want to move to a bigger city. Like you did that twice and were able to establish yourself quickly, especially in Utah. I didn't even know about Texas until just now. What tips do you have for DJs who are moving to link up and get gigs quickly? Like how did you establish yourself in those two spots and get to play? I mean, the place you played in Utah was dope. I forget the guy who you spun with there. He's hilarious.
Bangarang.
Yeah, dude. He's got one of the best. He's probably my favorite meme account on Instagram. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So they were both pretty similar experiences. Networking. When I moved to Texas, just got on some local boards like Facebook boards or whatever, local DJs. Met DJ Envious, who was playing out there with DJ Marvel, and just like one thing led to another. You become friends. You go out. You have lunch, and then hey, hook me up with a spot or whatever, or hey, let me hook you up with this spot. Like it just sort of happened. It happened organically, and then the same with Utah. I hit Bangarang up and I was like, hey, let's have lunch. He was like, all right, cool. Me, him, Huck was still in a pumpkin seat. It was a super small baby. Show up to lunch with my kid, set him down, hung out. We instantly became friends, man. We hung out. Like, I mean, we're still to this day talk. Like, I'll hit him up every so often and we chat. But just being humble, hitting those boards up and, just networking and knowing that even though I've been doing this for a long time, being the new person, it's starting over from ground zero, and just being humble about it and going in there, doing a good job too. Like after getting, once somebody gives you a chance, you gotta be established enough to go in there and kill it and do a good job. In Park City, I was lucky enough with DJ Scooter and Lavelle. I've known those guys since back in the day. So Scooter was actually really good friends with the owner of the Park City bar. And the first weekend that I moved out there, Scooter happened to be playing in Park City. So I went out, hung out with him, watched him play. He introduced me to the owner. And like I said, just being humble and then just having some talent to back it. Once they say, hey, this is my boy, give him a chance. That's when you got to shut up or put up once you get behind the decks. But yeah, just being humble, keeping a level head and just networking.
Love it.
I want to hop back over to B WALL. You mentioned that like you were getting a bunch of gigs, and that's kind of where you started BSC from, is just having an overflow of gigs. I think there's a lot of DJs who might be getting calls for stuff. What was helpful in helping you start BSC? I know you have, pretty professional background outside of what you do DJing. So what was helpful in starting BSC, and is that a good pathway for DJs who are getting booked a lot?
Yeah, so my background's a little bit various. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. So back when college started, I had already had a website development company called Web Interactive. So I had a little bit of a business background, just kind of doing my own thing. Getting clients are, large scale people that you need to be able to be professional enough when you're 19 years old to make a 30-year-old CEO trust you to do that kind of work with them. So I've had that kind of business background prior to starting Beat Squad. So when I started getting to the point where I was getting too many requests for what I could fulfill on my own, it was kind of a no-brainer for me to say, hey, there's plenty of other talented guys in this area. I need to partner with them, bring them onto the team. That way we can kind of make a really good culture here in Columbus. And that's what I think we've done a pretty good job of establishing, not just with Beat Squad, but with the other companies in the area, that, we can take care of a bride and groom or a corporate event. No matter what company you go with, you're going to be in good hands. So for me, just knowing that there were people out there like you, Mike, so I've known you back since 2007 or 8, and Kyle, when I met him, I can trust you guys to do the same, if not better job than me at any of these events that I'm doing. So what I've always told our guys is that you have to treat a bride and groom as if you guys are going to be friends forever. So I want them to be able to say, hey, man, you killed the show. Would love to hang out and catch a drink with you later. So that kind of stuff. So if I knew that I could get people on my team that were able to kind of personify me with our clients, then I knew that I was going to be in good hands. That, for me, that was a no-brainer. Some people around this area that may or may not want to start their own company, because business is tough. It's definitely not something that everybody can do on a whim without thinking about it. First of all, I'd be happy to help anybody out if they do have any questions. So feel free to hit me up. All my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook pages, DJ B WALL. Hit me up. I'd be happy to help. But if you're not willing to do it as a business, that's totally fine. There's definitely plenty of contract gigs out there. There's companies like us that can hire you for different events and kind of be that corporate face for you, to kind of bring you into that business sphere rather than just trying to be a college student that's trying to start DJ. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually going to follow up with, we do about 150 events a year. So, I mean, if maybe even more.
And we do more when it's not COVID-19. So
many. Yeah. But they're not all perfect, right? So maybe what tips do you have for when an event doesn't go perfect? Because we've had events that haven't gone perfect, but we've been able to keep our reputation. Like, what do you think has been helpful with regards to that?
Yeah, I mean, you always have to prepare for the worst. Even if you're the best DJ in the world, you're going to have something that goes wrong. So whether that's having extra equipment in your car just in case your wireless microphone breaks, if it's, for me, when I was even the resident DJ down at Brothers, I always had an iPod plugged into the mixer on the in channel, just in case a CDJ crapped out or if Serato crashed, which it had the tendency of doing at the time when I was the resident DJ there. So I've always had contingency plans in place. And I think that it's imperative for anybody that's going to be in the wedding game for sure. That's somebody spending tens of thousands of dollars for that day. You want to make sure that no matter what happens on your side, they never know there's an issue that happens. So they're completely shielded from that. So one of the things that we always tell our guys is that you always have to plan for the worst. Come prepared for any issue to happen. You have to almost be able to take on that wedding coordinator role, even if it's not a DJ issue. If grandma doesn't have a seat that's at her table for the bride and groom, you have to be willing to get up from your chair, go over there, find a chair that's in the closet, and have her a seat. So our people are always willing to go above and beyond, and also are prepared for any issue that may arise. I
like that.
And I'll add to that. If you do make a mistake, be kind of, be man enough. That sounds wrong, but be a good enough person to admit when you've made a mistake and then make it right.
Own it, sure.
Yeah, own it and somehow make it right. Whether it's like a money back guarantee or a gift card to future services or something. Just admit when you mess up and make it right. Krep, do you have any more questions about Ben and Beat Squad?
No, man. I mean, I love hearing about it. I've done some weddings in my past, and it's stressful. Like for me, it was like, what if I pronounce this person's name wrong? You know, maybe it's like a weird pronunciation, even though like I see it, and and then just you know, I'm sure it gets easier as you do them more and more, and then you get more comfortable. Then your library starts to build and stuff like that. But it became like a really big task to try to stay timely with everything. But I'm sure what you guys have going on is just like, it's more about just, you know, making everyone happy. Like you already have everything else down systematically. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you still learn things from time to time. So, you know, the phonetic pronunciation of somebody's name, that's one of the first things that we ask them. We say, how do you phonetically say it? And then we document that on our wedding reception planner. So that way, if I get sick and I can't perform at the event, Mike can grab that sheet and he still knows exactly how to pronounce the groom and bride's name without ever meeting them. You know, we haven't had to run into that kind of issue, but another thing I'd like to mention that I didn't mention before is that redundancy is always good. So knowing that there's always a backup DJ just in case somebody gets sick or they're in a car accident the day of the event, it's always good to be able to tell the bride and groom, hey, no matter what happens, we've got you covered. Even if that means somebody gets in an accident on the way to your wedding, we have another DJ that's on standby and ready to rock.
All right, that's enough of the Beat Squad commercial. I want to move over to, I want to move over to Kyle. Who's
Sign
also
up, guys. Go to the website.
Yeah, he was part of Beat Squad Utah, and that's what I want to talk about, man, because Utah had some interesting rules and kind of things that went on that you would kind of tell me about, like just the differences in the way weddings work and the way the work. So I'll just talk about that a little bit.
So yeah, I mean, just to hit, like, I wasn't even really into doing weddings until I met Ben, and that's sort of what spun the whole wedding thing. So like going from like a Columbus style business of weddings and what we had established with Beat Squad to Utah was a life-changing experience. It's if anybody's ever been to Utah, they know that the majority of the population are LDS. So it's a large Mormon population. LDS are known for getting married sort of right after their 2-year, what's it called? They go on their mission for 2 years. As soon as they come back, they find their significant other, they get married. And I'm saying some of these engagements are like 3 months long, and they're planning their wedding the whole time. And the weddings there are super. They're not small by as far as crowd size. I mean, you'll still get like 100, 200 people weddings, but they're only like 3 hours long. So a venue would pump out like 2 or 3 weddings in a day. There would be nothing for me to set up at a wedding and have a DJ coming in, setting up as I'm breaking down just for the next wedding. Because they were just really short. They would do an hour, what they call a receiving line, where the bride and groom stands for an hour. The line comes in, they shake their hand, everything, and then they move on to their like dessert or appetizer thing going on. And then they would do their some pictures and all their formal dances, like first dance and stuff. And then maybe you'd have, after everything was over, you might have 35, 45 minutes of party dancing. And of course, everything has to be squeaky clean. There's a lot of the weddings I did, like not even like sexual references in songs. Like they super, super clean. So it was just really different. Lots of backyard weddings, you know, because like I said, these venues are just overwhelmed. They're pumping out these weddings. You know, Saturday, a venue will see anywhere from 3 to 4 wedding events at one venue. And they're so booked as well. People are getting married on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesday nights to get these venues. It was a total different world out there. And like I said, but these weddings, it wasn't the 5 and 6 hour events that we see now. It's literally 3 hours max is what you're looking at for a wedding out there. Now, you know, there were some different weddings, like a lot of people traveling into Utah because it sort of was, Park City is a very destination oriented area. So you'd get, you know, during the wintertime, the hotels would book out larger weddings and they'd be more your traditional style, or what I called at the time Midwest style weddings, where it was a 5 and 6 hour event. But most of the time, man, it was just pumping through it. Just, you know, in and out, 3 hours, get your money and go.
Yeah, because you even did some load in times during dinner. right?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah. They would start dinner. I would be loading in during dinner, and I think I might have even been on the phone with you one time, Ben. And I was like, "Oh, it's going to take me like 30 minutes if that to load in and set this up." They're eating dinner. I'm going to play a couple songs and just bounce out of here. So, and luckily I got in with some good wedding DJs out there. There's a lot of wedding DJs out there who are part of like they're the upscale event stuff, like Rob Fieri, who goes to all these like trade shows and stuff. He's like a speaker and DJ. And then Jordan Nelson, who is a DJ out there, like does product reviews for I can't even think of what company it is. One of the DJ sale companies, one of the gear companies. So he does that. He's wrote his own book about like mobile DJ lighting and stuff like that. So there's a lot of DJs, a lot of mobile DJs out there. Of course, Mobile Beat's really big out there, all the Vegas trade shows and stuff. NAMM, everybody would travel to NAMM. So
now, have all three of you guys messed with like proms and homecomings too, or no?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Done it all.
Cool.
So
it's taking a hit this year, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure weddings are too. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're really starting to pick up, man. People are ready to start getting out and partying and hang out with their family.
I'm seeing a lot of weddings potentially around New Year's now. What is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting to throw a wedding at that time, but
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I've done the ball drop at a wedding before. It gets wild for sure.
nice.
High school proms are a big thing out there too. Just a little different, but like the schools were more spread out, so you'd get like, you'd have an 800 person like prom, like stupid big proms and stuff. And sometimes schools would like join together and do group proms and group stuff. So it'd be like these massive high school events out like on the football field and stuff. So it's a little weird. Yeah.
Yo, Kyle, did like did the Mormon community, like being a huge factor in that area, did that have an effect on club life at all?
Club life? Yeah. So alcohol rules. So like if you go to the bar, everybody orders a drink and a shot. Let me do my shot of whatever and chase it with whatever. So you can only order one drink at a time there. So if you want a shot of Fireball, let's just say they serve you a shot of Fireball, you have to take that, finish it, set your glass down, and then they can serve you your next drink. So you can't order multiple drinks at a time. Also with bottle service, you have to have a cocktail waitress. They lock the bottles up at your table and only can pour one drink at a time. So if you got 6 people at your table, your cocktail server will come over, pour 6 vodka cranberries or vodka Red Bulls, lock your bottle up, go back, and then when she comes over and she notices all 6 of those are gone, they can pour you 6 more.
So out there, the cocktail waitresses actually have to do something.
They have to work, yeah.
Oh my god, dude!
I'm just messing. Hey, Kruk.
No, I agree with you.
Some cocktail waitresses. You know that.
First of all, it's so interesting to me because a lot of countries, just the way they look at alcohol, they look at it as like just you're socializing and maybe having a drink, and you're not drinking, you're not going out to drink, you're going out to socialize and maybe have a drink. Like it's crazy. Like us in Columbus, we're just like, where's the shots? Why do I not have 2 drinks in my hand? Like,
well, I don't have a tray of shots in front of me.
Yeah.
People chugging out the bottles,
crazy,
and
man.
the beer at the time was like 3.2 beer or something like that. So it wasn't even like full. Bud Light wasn't even like full strength Bud Light.
Yeah, you're not drinking any craft beer out there, then.
Yeah, well, they did. You could drink craft beer. That was the only thing that was allowed to be over the 3.2. But they changed that in November, right after we left. This past November, they changed it. So now they have a regular strength beer out there.
So were those like state laws or just kind of understood,
state law.
unwritten? Oh,
No,
okay.
State laws. Utah state laws.
I'm telling you, bro, it's because you have to drive through a blizzard in the mountains every day. It's so hard to drive out there.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Hayes, you've been doing DJ/daddy life for quite some time now.
Oh, man.
Your father to probably one of the craziest kids I've ever met in Huck.
He's a mess.
Ben's on his way there within the next few days. So surprise for anyone who don't know Ben really well. Do you have any advice for Ben as he kind of takes on DJ/daddy life?
Get your sleep while you can, Ben. I told you that. But for DJs, we're used to staying up late and getting up early. Well, I mean, I don't know. Now that's what you got to do is you work, so you know what it's like to get up early as well. So you work during the day, but
Yep.
it's late nights, early mornings. I've been doing it for Keely. Just turned 11, so
Wow.
11 years. She turned 11 on the 17th of August. So, but it's great. It gives me a whole new perspective. It keeps me young. Of course, they're on TikTok now. Piper's 9 or will be 9 in December. So they're on TikTok. They keep me up on the new music. So I can't say that I've never heard that song now because I hear it like I hear 20-second clips like 20, 30,000 times a day. So yeah, it's been awesome. Keely is starting to show interest, wanting to go on gigs with me now. She just started band, so she wants to learn. Actually, during quarantine and stuff, I pulled out. I have a little DJ controller. Pulled it out. Started showing them how to do some stuff, messing around with it. Huck is something else though. The girls are great. I love my girls. They're the best. But Huck has changed my world in the past. He'll be 3 on the 27th, and he is a mess. His hair is naturally the color of James's hair. Yeah. So he's got the bright blonde hair. He's got the green eyes. He's just a stud. He knows he's a good looking little kid and everybody loves him and that he can get away with anything.
Watch out, ladies.
Yeah, he's a mess, and he's like when you say animated and crazy, man, he is. He is a force to be reckoned with.
Hey, hey, chat. If you want Mike and I to start a Columbus DJ podcast TikTok, send a like. We'll get it right on that.
Yeah, we're gonna need 1 million likes for that to happen.
1 million likes.
Let's go to show and tell, Mike, because I know Ben wants to show what he was just showing. I think that's great. Guys, this is show and tell. We basically do every episode, and basically you just show something that's significant to you. It could be DJ, non-DJ related. It's just something fun we do to like switch topics here, see what you guys got going on. So you want to go ahead, Ben?
Yeah, sure. I kind of just foreshadowed a little bit there, but one of the most important things going on in our life is that our baby boy is going to be born next week. Hopefully, if he comes on time, he's due on Wednesday. So it's been a journey so far. It's been interesting with COVID. I haven't been able to be at any of the appointments other than the first one that happened pre-COVID. So yeah, man, we're really looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a life-changing thing. I know sleep is going to be one of those things that is going to be very, very few and far between when I can get it, but I've already been training myself by playing Call of Duty with Mike late at night and then working at 7 a.m. in the morning. So
you'll do great.
Yeah, man. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I'm going to be an emotional mess whenever he's born. So
you have a name?
We do. My wife is keeping it secret.
Okay.
It's a family thing right now, so only they know.
World premiere on the Columbus DJ podcast.
Name drop. Let's go.
B WALL Jr. No. So yeah, it's gonna be a secret until he comes out, and the biggest thing for us is just hoping that he comes out healthy and happy, and we'll be good to go.
And that he's a good hooper.
Mike, we got one TikTok like by Rob D.
It looks like you can cut that.
Oh, Rob DePaula, what's up, Rob?
Yeah, man. All right, Kyle, go ahead, man.
Same thing. I want to show you my kids. I just got pictured. This is Huck.
Oh, I love the hair, man.
Yeah,
Platinum blonde, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. And then here's Keely.
Super Saiyan.
Keely and Piper.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, just the kids, man. That's
growing fast, dude. Wow.
Yeah. That's my world.
You've been in clubs in Utah, Columbus, Cincinnati, Texas. How old is your oldest Keely gonna have to be before she's allowed to enter a club?
Oh, never.
Seeing all the scenes
without Dad. Not without Dad. I told her, I was like, when you go to college, I'm gonna be DJing in the clubs at college. Like I'm gonna make sure I'm there when you when you go to college. So no, hopefully she's DJing by that time, and she's 18 and or whatever, or she, hell, if she starts whenever. But yeah, that's up to her. But 18, hopefully she's spinning. She might be the hottest DJ at the time. So
I still don't think there's enough female DJs out there. So
yeah,
you should definitely get on that, man, for sure.
So yeah, I'm all about it. Like she knows they all got good heads on their shoulders, and they'll know how to act. So, and if I catch, there's too much social media for me not to catch them acting stupid. So,
what's their favorite artist so far?
You know, they're into Keely actually just got in trouble for listening to Juice WRLD the other day, because she was playing the explicit versions, obviously, and mom didn't like that. So, but they're still into like Radio Disney type stuff. So like they all like all the
impressive
the musical shows and stuff. They're both into musical theater. They like musical theater. So
get that kids bop going, man.
Yeah. They're sort of out of the kids bop phase. So yeah.
Did you guys see someone started writing out the lyrics to WAP and Kids Bop? It was like Certified Geek.
No.
7 days a week.
Man.
Dude, I got my niece Kylie's listening to Tootsie Slide version.
Oh,
Kids.
yeah.
I was like, man, it's so weird.
Oh man.
That's cool.
I want to ask about you guys' like management. Now that you guys are doing that, has being a manager of DJs and of bars, you guys are still both working with DJs. This is kind of the management side. Is there any advice you guys could give to DJs from a management point of view? Like, this is how you talk to management. This is how you approach someone who manages DJs. And if you want to get into the mobile gig, this is how you approach a bar manager. If you're trying to DJ at a nice establishment like you've had, Kyle. Let's start with Ben.
Yeah, so I think, professionalism is always key, no matter who you're talking to. So whether it's a mobile DJ client or if it's a bar manager, having that kind of rapport with somebody, professionalism goes a really far way. The other thing that's, critical is leave your ego at the door, because, you just got to go in there nice and vulnerable with everybody and be willing to talk to somebody as a human. You're not going to go in there as a rock star DJ, because most of the time people don't care. Especially for mobile events and weddings. They just want to know that you're going to be in good hands. So just be ready to check your ego at the door, take any advice, and be professional. I think those are the three biggest keys. You can be successful at anything you do as long as you do that kind of stuff.
I like that.
Yeah. I think Ben hit the nail on the head with just being professional. I can't stress enough, be humble. Know that you might think you're the best DJ out there, but there's thousands of others who's just as good, if not better than you. So always be humble, professional. I'll touch on the bar aspect, and I'm sure, Mike, James, you both have booked DJs and bars and stuff. Just go in professional with a good press kit. A press kit is very important to have. Yeah. So
Mike loves that.
And mixes, you're not going to show up to somewhere if you show up to somewhere and you don't have some mixes to back up what you can do, or what styles you do, then I'm not just going to put you on and let you have a live performance or a live mix as your test, So, and I think even the days as opener DJs who you've never heard before is over, So go in with a professional, promotion package, some good mixes, stay humble, know that everybody's trying to eat and everybody's coming in, but just be professional and humble. That's my biggest keys right there. So, and then be able to back it up,
Sure.
be able to do your thing once you get that opportunity. So, and make sure you're ready. Like I said, I had to carry DJ record crates. I had to move records, up steps.
Here we go again.
Old school milk.
Here we go again.
So I won't go into that, but take your time. Make sure you're ready. And that's what I say for any DJ, for DJing in general. Don't rush things. Don't rush your mixes. Don't rush, songs. Don't just because you got 30 hot songs you need to play in a certain amount of time, let that song or your set build and drop it at the right time. Don't rush yourself as a DJ. Build that career and then drop it at the right time, so just be patient.
Yeah. And one other thing I wanted to add is always continue working on your craft. Cause I know that even for me, I got to the point where it was like, I don't need to go practice. And then I caught myself doing that too often. I'd kick it down the can. I wouldn't practice outside of gigs for weeks at a time. And then I'd find myself getting stale. So there's always practice to be done, you know, work on some new tricks, work on some new mixes. Don't kind of fall into the law that, hey, I know this peak hour set works no matter where I go, no matter what time. You know, there's always new things we can try to do, because I know that that was one of the things that I fell into is this gig's too easy. I don't need to practice anymore, but there's always room for improvement. That was just me, my ego getting in the way. And, you know, it's an easy thing to have happen for sure.
I feel like that was directed at me because Ben's probably heard me do the Party in the USA into Britney Spears mix probably 2 million times.
No, man, I still have my same bag of tricks too, you know. So
yeah, was it?
The
It
crowd's
was
dead, you know.
If it
R.
ain't broke,
Kelly
don't
into
fix
Pony.
it, man.
That mix doesn't go
R.
to
Kelly
one,
and the Pony, just
dude.
it would still work. Nobody cares at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Jason M said, "Don't blow up the new club with the 'Can I spin?' DM."
That's
There's some truth to that.
Yep.
Unless you got 30 people with you, right, James?
I mean,
You gotta be
at 8 o'clock.
You got to be a promoter anymore.
Well, I guess 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hey, promotion helps nowadays.
Yo, guys, it was actually a pretty dope week for DJs. DJs have gotten shit on in 2020, let's be honest, but we had a pretty good week. CDJ 3000 by Pioneer released today. As far as like the promotional materials for it, a lot of YouTubers did their reviews. If you guys are looking, Jamie Hartley from Crossfader, fantastic YouTuber, did a 30-minute kind of review and demo. And I agreed with almost everything the dude said. Like I was planning, Corrupt Youth kind of tweeted at me, which I thought was funny. I was going to make a review. This dude killed it. I literally agreed with everything he said to the point where I don't even think I need to make a video. I would just link his. So if you guys are looking for new gear, which I'm sure maybe a lot of us aren't, CG3000 came out, and then Machine Plus, which is a standalone machine for those of you guys who are finger drummers or want to add a performance piece to your mixing, whether it's piano, drum, saxophone, kind of whatever. You would typically need like 2 laptops, one laptop running, you know, Serato, Tractor, Record Box, and then another one running Machine. Well, now Machine can run standalone, and that was pretty awesome. So I wanted to ask you guys, have you guys seen anything from the CDJ3000, or does the Machine thing excite you? And do you think this is the right time to be releasing DJ gear?
You guys go ahead, start.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I saw pictures. I'm not a fan, but that's just me personally. I think it's probably great for the people who are huge CDJ fans. I just don't see the point in it for my type of DJing, I guess. I mean, I'm still using, turntables and just basic Serato needs here. I do also use a DJAXCESS 1000 SRT, but for me, I don't think I need all the bells and whistles that device has. I definitely don't need like a 9-inch screen or whatever it is that it comes with. Is it 9-inch that it comes with?
9-inch,
But that's me, you know. So I'm happy that companies are still making money and can put out things like that, you know. And that companies aren't failing, especially brands like Pioneer, which I like myself. So I'd hate to see those companies start going under due to the pandemic and stuff. But it's just not for me, man. But that's me. So that's my opinion on it.
Cool. Ben?
Yeah, I've done only a little bit of research on them. I kind of read through some of the feedback on it earlier today. But I'm kind of in Kyle's boat. I'm more of an old school guy. I prefer the techniques. And working on turntables, I occasionally use CDJ 1000s just because they're easier to move around. But for me, the special effects and all that kind of stuff, I'd rather stick to, you know, the basics for DJing.
And Corrupt, how long is it going to take for us to beg PD for some CDJ 3000s?
I mean, I like the CDJs. You know, I'm a CDJ guy.
For sure.
A couple of the things that I read that is the processors are a lot better now and the tracks will load faster. As somebody that plays off a USB, this is great news for me because usually it would come down to, you know, is it going to read your histories fast enough for you to get to a track? And, you know, obviously some of the other stuff, it is what it is if it comes with a bigger screen and stuff like that. But the truth is, if you're playing in a club, and you're doing a lot of shows with bigger artists, this CDJ is going to become the standard. And it's going to be around, and people are going to have to learn it. It's going to be at clubs probably next year. But I saw a lot of people giving them crap about releasing a new CDJ. What a lot of people don't know is this CDJ has been done for a while. Like Pioneer's been waiting to put this out. And I think it's good that they put it out, because we need to move forward with things like this. They're trying to keep their business afloat. I saw a couple posts today about criticism of why are they releasing this? Like, I mean, they wanted to release it earlier in the year, so I'm just glad that they got it out. I don't know about Dolly getting them, but hopefully Gallup Park, when that opens up, oh wait, I can't give that out.
I was gonna say, did you see my face? I was like,
what? I almost gave that shit out too. I'm sorry.
I was about to ask, what is that ETA on that?
Oh yeah, man, right? But it's coming. It's coming in hot. Can't be giving
that to the competition. You know, the Eastern line, they'll be like, oh,
I don't want to get yelled at. But yeah, I think it's a good thing, and I want to hear more about that board that you were talking about too. Remember when I was messaging you about getting a sampling type of board? Is it going to do it?
Yes, this is the one. Because remember, I told you you're going to need a laptop.
Yes.
And just to wait, this is the time. We finally got it.
Nice. I want you to send that to me right now.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm so pumped about this thing.
Nice.
Again, guys, if you're looking at the EDM scene, the guys who are surviving, the Timmy Trumpets, Grizz, Big Gigantic, and countless others. I think Duke Dumont does like live performance stuff. This is a very, very affordable way and easy way. I mean, as long as you learn those 16 pads and like you can plug in the different scales, you literally just select an instrument, and then Serato or Tractor or Mixed in Key will tell you the key of the song. You plug that into your machine, and as long as you're practiced on those 16 patterns, you really can't mess it up. I mean, you can. Like, there's definitely levels, but like it's hard to sound bad. And then it once you spend, 40 to 1,000 hours, you're going to sound really good. So I think that's going to be an awesome tool for DJs who choose to use it, and maybe a way to elevate themselves and separate themselves from the pack. As far as the CDJ 3000, I got my 8 cue points. They aren't laid out how I expected them to be, but they're there. So I'm happy about that. There was some great things that they did with beat loops and beat jump. They took out the CD player, which I'm fine with. I was talking to someone about how they were upset with it, and I'm like, who cares at this point? We did not get our second flash drive. I think in the episode with Raveheart, who shout out to Raveheart, he was really excited about this episode because he knew we were talking about the CDJ 3000. We were talking about getting 2 flash drives per player. So when if you had 2 CDJs but 3 DJs rotating, or Corrupt in your case where you have an opener, direct support, and then a headliner, everyone could have their flash drive in there. We did not get that. But if you guys watch that 30-minute video, you got a lot of things. I think they did a nice job with it. The fact that it's faster. I guess the processor is so good that it can take an MP3 file, which is less quality than a FLAC file, I think is what they're called. And somehow it can read the MP3 file and make it a FLAC file. Like, you get all the details that you would out of a FLAC file. So I'm not the go-to guy to talk about that, but I'm excited. I definitely will not be getting them.
What's the price?
That's what I was going to ask.
What's the price? What the price was.
I mean, I was going to say they released the price.
It's going to be the highest it's going to be right now, but
yeah,
I could see them, especially if you're a business. I'm sure there's ways to contact Pioneer if you need a couple of them, and work out a deal. I don't know though, or just wait till Guitar Center gets them. Everybody knows somebody at some sort of store, right?
Yeah, dude. Everybody.
I DJ now.
Let's see. What else can we talk about? We did show and tell. Hey, I want to know what you guys have been listening to lately. We call this Tastemakers. We did like the first 19 episodes, James, without really talking about music. Now we try to at least talk about a little bit of music every episode. And Ben, I'd like to start with you, man. Is there anything you're listening to? Or?
Man, I'm kind of all over the place. I work in front of a computer all day long, so I'm listening to different radio stations on iHeartRadio, Spotify, different mix shows. So I'm all over the place. I think, shockingly, the Baby Rockstar is still like my number one go-to. I love it. And I also put on WAP every once in a while just because I think it's ridiculous, you know?
Because that's what we do.
Yeah, you know?
You can always tell when someone at the gym is listening to WAP. You can always tell.
They're on the floor dancing and stuff.
Well, yeah, well, mostly me, but
yeah.
Dude, I saw a tweet from Maury or something that said the lie detector determined that is a WAP. I was like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kyle.
I've actually been listening to a lot of country. I've been doing. We're sort of working on it. Am I okay? Yeah. I'm fine. I'm actually.
Your dog okay? Your wife?
My dog's okay. My wife's okay. My truck's okay. Mama's still good.
The crop,
but no,
I
think
a good crop this year.
Still got a good crop. Yeah. The tractor's still sexy. But yeah, just been listening to a lot of country. I'm actually working on a country project that I've been working on for a while. Country was actually pretty big. Country and Latino music in Utah was super big for weddings and obviously not in the clubs and stuff. But yeah, so I've been working on a country project for a while, and it keeps evolving. And I think it's just something to get my mind away from top 40 or any pop stuff these days. So yeah, just working on that. Listen to a lot of country.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good country music that's out right now. Chris Stapleton just dropped a new track last week or maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's still on my playlist. I listen to a lot of Lee Brice and Old Dominion. So, like I said, I'm all over the place. I love country. Probably not as much as what Kyle does. But yeah, man, it's good stuff.
Yeah. I will say this: everyone loves Tennessee whiskey. I don't care how much you hate country. If you listen to Tennessee whiskey and you go, "This is a bad song," objectively, I can't.
You can. Yeah,
for sure.
It's a great song,
sure.
And there's other ones like that too. I don't like none of them come to mind right now. James, what you been listening
to? Not country. I'll tell you that much. I'm just kidding. But so the new Lil Wayne album, No Ceilings. He just crushed it. He's a lyrical genius. It reminds me of his Carter 3. A bit it's that good.
Wow.
So old school Wayne, huh?
Yeah, he's just definitely taking
metaphors.
It's a lot of old school beats over new lyrics. So a lot of like Gucci Mane Wasted beat is on there. Swag Surf, his own lyrics over that. It's really good.
Nice.
And then for electronic, I would say Bijou dropped a. Hold on, my phone's ringing. Bijou dropped a unreleased track of his that I still picked up on Shazam called Black Suede. It's a bass house, hip hop influenced track that I've been searching for. I can't find it yet. If you guys see it get released, let me know because I'm trying to download that. But it went off so well, and it's like if I was to go back to making bass house, man, like that track would influence me for sure or inspire me for sure.
I'm surprised you can't hit him up since he was just in Columbus.
I can. I just literally I just started going through my Shazams early this week, and I'm gonna message him and see what happens. But I'm assuming it's gonna be released anytime now. Like these guys usually don't. The only time I've heard of an artist holding. Remember how long Steve Angelo held on Payback?
Yes.
Over a year. Like I almost just went to his house and was like, "What's up, dude?"
Knock on his door.
And rant.
Remember Save the World? How many versions? Everyone had the official version, and then the official version came out. We were all like, "Oh, it wasn't the official."
Yeah. The one we heard at Dayglow was so good.
Yeah.
If I don't ever remember hearing that one again, it was Star Killers remix or something like that. I don't know.
Man, I've been listening to, and this is gonna sound so pluggy, but Wiretap just put out a mix for James's Lost in the Sauce series.
So good.
And yeah, actually, I was happy with it. James, I was really happy with your portion as well. There was some really dope bass lines. I was mad because I was listening to it in the gym and I couldn't Shazam my AirPods because I like to do that. So I'll probably hit you up for some of those tracks. But the Lost in Sauce is doing pretty well on SoundCloud. Check out Corrupt's page. And big shout out to Atomic and Lord JB for putting that together. And what else? Home Alone 2 just got announced. So if you guys don't know, Corrupt, you were part of this as well. Home Alone was a streaming event kind of right after COVID, talking about positivity as well as mental health because people were just now, that was like the peak of like fear of COVID, anxiety kind of going out the roof. So Home Alone had a streaming event. It was really well done. And this is the second version coming September 19th and 20th. Bass Daddy, B-Funk, oh my gosh, nice. Xander, Modern King, Carlin, just a ton of artists from Columbus. All of us understand how tough of a year it's been for DJs and others. There's going to be interviews. So we're elevating that just to make sure that people have resources and places to go if they're feeling some sort of way. So happy to be a part of that. And big shout out to the Tiger Friends for putting that together for the second time.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And we were talking about what I was listening to.
Yeah, what do you listen to?
So I guess I to be honest, I was listening to a lot to kind of
not country, obviously.
Not
I'm the only one listening to country. Right?
Hey, no, not hating, by the way. Yeah.
I play way too much. Ben's heard me play my country sets at weddings. He knows I can get down.
You get down with some country?
Yeah, man. He had him rocking last summer for sure.
But I can't be smiling too much. I always got to keep my straight face while I'm playing country. Y'all have fun.
Can't be going like this.
Good job. Yeah. No. Anytime I hear yeehaw, I just start walking towards the exit. Don't ask questions.
Don't ask.
Just gonna walk towards the exit.
Shit, bro.
Funny.
Man, let's see. I think that. Oh no. Ooh, I almost skipped over tips for listeners, James. Guys, you have tons of experience. Tips for listeners is something we do. I post up all of them on YouTube, and it's just you guys have so much knowledge to give. We've already given a ton, so I have a ton of clipping to do. But did you have any additional tips for listeners for DJs? And Kyle, I want to start with you.
Just as DJ tips,
DJ tips.
DJ
tips. What's your number one DJ tip?
Be open-minded with everything. Listen to all kinds of music. Try playing all kinds of music. Don't get yourself stuck in a hole. I would say be versatile and be open-minded. With country, just for an example, just know that there might be a time and place for it. Always be open-minded to it and be open to do any genre of music at any point in time. Especially in weddings, you're gonna see a lot of different things, what different bride and grooms want, and then hell in nightclubs, like I said, don't be scared to venture out and drop something that might be out of the ordinary, because there might be a group of people at that place that might just absolutely go crazy, or people might just go nuts to anyway. So just be open-minded about all kinds of music.
And I think we had someone talk about being open-minded about music. So Kyle, I want to push you a little bit further.
Okay.
Let's say you're at a wedding, you're at an event, and someone's asking you for something maybe you don't play a lot, like soca music. I'm sure you play soca. But let's say they ask for soca music, and I'm a DJ who doesn't play soca. What is your process for learning that style of music?
So I go in depth. I usually I use Spotify, and I'll sort of find artists and genres and just dig into deep into what, let's just say Spotify has. Google search the genre. I don't know if I've ever played soca before, actually, to tell you the truth. But yeah, just do your research. It's a never-ending process of learning new things, and you might end up liking it. So like I said, I dig into Spotify. I'll find the different artists. I'll research them. I'll hear the different songs. Inevitably, music is all the same language. It's all beats. It's all counts. It's all you can mix it, blend it, and do whatever you want to with it. So yeah, don't be scared to dig deep into that and actually just do research. It's like being at school. Sit down, take notes, Google search, Spotify searches, or whatever, and research, and give your client what they want.
Sure. Phone a friend.
Phone a friend, yeah. I mean, I carry, like Ben was talking about having backups and stuff. I carry an iPad with me that has cell service. So, like, if somebody asks for something that I'm not familiar with, I'll pull it up on Spotify. If I like the way it sounds, I think I can squeeze it in. Boom, I'll pull the songs up and try to squeeze stuff in. So, and that, that's mostly at weddings or private events and stuff like that. So, always being open to giving people what they want, I guess.
Dope. Ben, what's your tips for listeners, please?
For new DJs, just be willing to ask for help. There's so many things that a lot of us just don't know when you're first starting out. There's plenty of very good, experienced guys around the same area that you live in, as well as in different clubs and stuff. So don't be afraid to reach out, whether it's via Facebook message, DM on Instagram, Twitter, or just walk up to a guy in a club and say, hey man, I'm looking to try getting DJing. Do you have any tips for me? Because most likely it's all going to be guys like us that are willing to help bring up whoever the next generation is. And we don't have all the answers, but we definitely have things we learned in the past that we're willing to share for sure.
What's interesting about that is these younger DJs or less experienced DJs it's almost like they think that's a bad thing to ask questions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're afraid.
Yeah, it's like that we'll look at them like they just don't know what they're doing. That's not, because I just remember, like, I don't know where I would be if I wasn't asking questions to Duct Tape and Matt Magic and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely great to ask questions. I like that one.
And
I know Mike's going to push you further anyway. So
no, actually, I'm going to let you go. But if I'm being honest, there is something that does annoy me with like that asking questions things. Like, yes, Ben's 100% right. Ask questions. But as being a YouTube creator, one thing that I've learned is that people aren't necessarily willing to Google stuff themselves. Like, they want their handheld. So I can't think of an example, but there's a lot of times on YouTube where they're like, hey, can you help me with this? And maybe I don't even know the answer, but I'll type it, their exact question into YouTube. And the first video I watch is a very effective video from like a guy like Jamie Hartley or Mo Jax or Elliskins, talking about exactly what they're doing. And I'll just link the video. So yes, ask questions 100%. But you're probably going to get a faster response just by typing something into YouTube. Now, you might say, hey, in this YouTube video at 25 minutes, this guy says, don't watch your screen. Why is that? And that's when you ask a Ben, a Kyle, James, oh, well, because you want to interact with the crowd, make sure you're reading the crowd. You don't want to look bored or like you're on Facebook, and we can explain it that way. So absolutely ask questions, but don't be afraid to do a little bit of research yourself, like starting off. Like, ask specific questions that are going to help you get better or things you don't understand.
For sure. And that doesn't just go for DJing, because one of the things I learned coming up in the business world, the majority owner at our company, Jeff Lamb, he shared probably one of the best things of advice I've ever heard. And that was try to figure it out on your own first and then ask questions, because our time is valuable too. So you don't want to take up too much of somebody's time, because then they're not going to try to give you a very solid answer that you're going to be able to build on your career or on your DJ skills, So try to figure it out, like Mike said, maybe Google it, maybe YouTube video. There's plenty of different things and resources out there. Take advantage of those first, and then ask a better question to the person that you're trying to seek that advice from.
Yep. School teachers tell me there's no bad questions, but there are really good questions, and try to ask really good questions, and then you'll help yourself.
For sure.
So yeah, I love both of those for tips for listeners. Flip, guys, is there anything you want to ask? I mean, you guys know us so well, so I highly doubt, but anything you want to ask Corruptorai, or topics that we didn't get to cover that you guys want to talk about?
Who are you voting for in November? No, I don't want to go.
Come on, no politics.
That rabbit hole.
No politics.
Ben.
No.
Trying to make us all lose our reputations real quick.
I was going to write myself. I was going to write myself in ballot.
I mean, at this point,
anybody wants to write me in, go ahead.
Right.
I'm old enough now, I think. Right? What's the age? Is it 30?
35?
35. Yeah.
Well, I mean, anymore, if you want to be in Congress or anything, you got to be like 60 or 70 to actually get the win.
Hey, I'm getting close to that. So
yeah. I guess for you, James, I mean, when did you start producing versus when did you start DJing? So I've only known you in terms of DJing, and then I started to learn who you were as a producer as I started to work on your website and stuff over the years. So when did you kind of make that aha moment for you to start producing versus DJing?
Yeah, so I started DJing at like 20, right before 20, I was turning 21, and then 25 is when I started messing around in Ableton. For 2 years, I just kind of took my time learning Ableton, making edits and stuff like that, and then I would say 27 to 30 started really trying to watch a lot of YouTube tutorials on mixing and EQing and sound design and stuff like that. And then I was putting out music during that time, and then you always are learning. The plugins that come out are always new. The set and all the patches that you can use and stuff. So I was a DJ first. I wish I would have started producing at a younger age, and learning all that. I wish I would have done like you said, you didn't play any instrument. I wish I would have done like a piano or something to learn more like chord progressions and stuff like that. So it was tough, but I definitely relied on other producers, a lot of TeamViewer, and a lot of YouTube tutorials for sure.
Nice. So what's like your go-to advice for somebody that wants to get into the production game? Where should they start looking for advice before they start bugging people like you with valuable time, you know?
Yeah, I took a deadmau5 master's class,
Nice.
which was pretty cool to learn just about like everything, even analog stuff, like if you're into that. And then but YouTube tutorials, I mean, they're so good. Like if you go to school for producing, a lot of those videos are I feel like would be just as good. A lot of these guys, I'm pretty sure, are like sponsored by Ableton making these videos. So, or whatever software you're using, there's a video for. So looking into that and then doing the actual homework. So like this deadmau5 master's class gave you homework to do. So you can't just watch it and then, oh, I know how to do that now. Like you literally have to put in experiment after experiment. So it takes time, but it's fun. Time flies when you're doing it. You'll be 3 hours in and you might not get anything done, but that's what everyone's doing. I mean, that's what all these guys that are putting out music all the time, they also have 50 projects on their desktop that didn't work out. You know what I mean? So kind of just staying consistently aggressive on it, I would say. And then if you lose inspiration, I would say take a step back for a couple hours and come right back at it, or a day even.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a writer's block kind of thing.
Yeah,
you get
it
like
happens
a producer.
so much. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then Mike, for you, you and I have discussed this a little bit, but I think everybody else that's listening may learn something from it. What made your decision to go from having a day job and DJing to being just a full-time DJ that is 100% focused on that kind of lifestyle, and how do you kind of change your life if you needed to for that?
Sure, man. I think you have to identify. Happiness is like the number one thing for me. Like I always say, like, if what you're doing isn't making you happy, you're not doing it right. So find something that makes you happy, and 900 times out of 1,000, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be able to make money from it because you're gonna get good at it, and typically there's gonna be some kind of market for it, especially if you do it really, really well. So I was in a position where I was working at the bank 30 to 40 hours a week, and I was DJing, 2-3 gigs a weekend. So another, I don't know, 12 to 15 hours in addition to that. And you're not getting a lot of sleep. I wasn't able to work out at that time, so my body was suffering. And it got to the point, it's like, which one of these am I going to choose? Do I cut back at the bank? Do I cut back on DJing? And I had set a goal in my mind that like once I got to XYZ amount in my savings account, that's when I could switch over to being a full-time DJ. And I was pretty close to where I wanted to be, and gigs were just rolling in, and I literally just didn't have energy enough. And one day I just walked into PNC, and I didn't even plan on it, but I just told my manager, like, hey, I can't do this anymore. And she's like, oh, you just sending your 2 weeks? Because we had conversations throughout the years that if this wasn't going to be, I was going to be there forever. And I'm like, nope, I don't want to do my 2 weeks. I just kind of want to go home right now. Yeah, and so I just got my stuff.
I just want to go.
Yeah, I left.
Just out.
And so I think having a plan in place definitely helps, but pursue happiness at all costs. And if you're going to make that jump, understand that you got to have a backup plan. So, PNC was my backup plan before. Without PNC, I have to have a savings account as a backup plan. I have to have, I have to make connections and nurture relationships so that if something did happen, like a pandemic, I could reach out to people and do odd job stuff, because I've proven to them that I can't just, I'm not just someone who can press buttons really well. Like Corrupt, you could tell, anyone, like you being a DJ at Dahlia is not just being a DJ at Dahlia. There's a lot of other responsibilities and skills that you bring to that job that makes you good at that job that transfer well to other places. So prove that to people while you're DJing, and then maybe opportunities pop up if, say, a pandemic comes along, or if your family stuff starts to, you need more financial support for family things that go on. So yeah, I don't know if it answers the question, but
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was a tough decision, but I know that it's not the right decision for probably 95% of DJs, because there aren't enough gigs to really put food on the table if you have a family and things of that sort too. So I'm sure you made a very calculated decision on when you felt comfortable with it. And it seems like making that educated decision is the most important thing, for sure.
Sure. But yeah. I mean, even if it's not educated, like if you're miserable in what you're doing and you think being a full-time DJ is going to do it, like, fine, but just don't be lazy about it. Like you're saying, like you're saying, like, don't, there's not enough opportunities going around. So part of your plan has to be to create opportunities, start your own party, start your own Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday party. And then, DJ your normal gigs on Friday, Saturday, create your own Sunday brunch party, reach out to people, stream, find other way. If you're going to be a full-time diva, find multiple streams so that's your backup plan. Okay, there's a pandemic. Well, I'm going to be on Twitch all of a sudden. I'm going to have X amount of subscribers. That'll pay my rent, So just go all in.
It's a full-time job. So
yeah, for sure. That's how you got to treat it.
Yeah, you got to treat it as a full-time job, for sure.
Where can people find you guys online and in person?
Ben, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. You're not going to find me in person right now. I've hung up the headphones in terms of DJing, but running Beat Squad is still a very passionate thing for me. So I'll probably be popping up at different guys' shows every once in a while once this pandemic stuff comes to an end and the economy opens back up. But in terms of reaching out to me on social media, you got me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All of my handles are DJ B WALL. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that people have about anything like that. But in terms of seeing me in person, I'll be hiding behind the screen, if you will. So go out and see these guys. They're always going to be out there performing and stuff.
So direct opposite for me. I'm hard to get a hold of online. If I'm not on social media, Instagram more or less, maybe more than anything. It's Instagram at Kyle Hayes _. You can check out my Mixcloud. It's Mixcloud, I think, at Kyle Hayes, KYLEHAZE. Or you can find me in person. Come to Beeline, hang out, have some drinks. Maybe you can catch Corrupt and AXCESS spinning here at some point in time, boys. So, just give me the nod and come play some good music.
Nice, cool.
So yeah,
I would definitely want to come in and check out your place, man.
That's the invite. That's the invite. Come on out. So, but yeah, you can catch me here in person. I'm usually here 5 out of 7 days a week, if not more. So.
Big shout out to 614. They're partnering with us just to cross promote. They do awesome Columbus style apparel. You probably see me or Corrupt wearing that all the time. They kind of sponsor segment 614 releases, and we have nothing except for the Lost to Sauce wiretap mix, which of course is, me and Corrupt's project together. So of course we're going to talk about that. But guys, there's a link in the YouTube description that opens up an Excel document. You can put your name, your DJ name, the project, the release date, the link, and we will talk about it. So for those of you who want more streams, more likes, more follows, use that as a resource. We want to promote your stuff. I can't say it enough. Have a MailChimp, send me the link to your MailChimp. I'll get an email letting me know when your new album comes out, your new EP, your new mixtape, and then me and Corrupt will talk about it. Corrupt, is there anything else we can do to beg people to send us stuff so that we can help promote them?
No, I think we can start doing some side promotion, like off the podcast, to promote the podcast, because I don't feel like just creating awareness on it. That's a new feature of the podcast too. So I think we'll be good. A lot of people are putting a lot of stuff out, and a lot of people are trying the stream thing. I know I'm about to get back on the stream, the Twitch thing. Me and DJ Surge, shout out Surge. We're working on a Tuesday thing to kind of, it's like, DJ Vice has a big one on Tuesdays, so we're gonna try to, do the same time and see what happens. And we're gonna make it really official too. So I'll let you know when that is. But I think we're gonna try to do it inside Dahlia during like closed operations. Try to get them involved, give away some parties, some tickets and stuff like that. So
what you thinking, Kyle?
You need a TikTok account, Mike.
Yeah.
So you play everybody's new music on TikTok while you dance, and that would promote everything for you.
Hey man, I used to love TikTok. That was my favorite app. I laughed my ass off. They had Star Wars stuff on there. I got so much new music from there. But some dude did a reverse engineering of the app and just said that, like, obviously there's not really any such thing as privacy on the internet anymore, but to the point where this is pretty flagrant, just like anyone who's on your network can get like hacked or whatever. They're getting information to China. And
it was pretty good.
And man, I watch it enough. I watch enough news to probably do a decent impression. But yeah, I think that's it. Love TikTok, but yeah, kind of delete it. I'm sad and still.
Tear.
I know, sad. Let's see what else we got. I think that's it. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video and subscribe. I'll probably be talking about a ton of DJ gear coming up, machine tutorials. Obviously the podcast is there. You can ask questions in the comments. I respond to every single one. James, anything else you want to say or ask these guys?
No, man, it's been great to catch up with you guys. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad that, COVID's not taking you guys out and stuff. I mean, you guys both are staying on your grind. You guys are hard workers, family people. So I think I'm just happy to know you guys. We love doing this podcast, so thank you.
Yeah, man, I'm glad there's people like you and Mike around here trying to continue to uplift the DJ community. So hats off to you guys. I hope you guys continue to do well during this pandemic, and we all come out on the other side enjoying life and appreciating everything we have.
And yeah, Ben, absolutely, enjoy these last few days of sleep and sanity, because I think for 18 to 22 years, it's gone.
Oh,
gone.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man. But congrats on the baby boy, though, man, for real.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, man. Congrats. I appreciate it. It's going to be, I've achieved some pretty cool things in my life. That's going to be the number one highlight of my life for sure.
100%.
Be the best thing that ever happened to you, man.
Absolutely.
I always tell everybody that you don't know love until you feel the love of something that loves you unconditionally as soon as it's born. As soon as it opens its eyes, there's nothing like that unconditional love. And that's the purest form that you'll ever feel in your life. So
I feel like that's the kind of love
you're
I
next.
have for Corrupt. Oh,
shit.
no way, man. No
I knew
way.
you were gonna say something, so I had to say something
No
first.
way.
He'll be Uncle Mike over here in my household.
I think I'm crazy because I don't know, man. I think I must be crazy.
Let's talk about this next episode.
Wait, just hang out at my house for a little while, and then you'll definitely say, no, I'm good for a couple.
Dude, now that I'm in the suburbs and there's kids running around all the time, I just have like anxiety. Like, oh God.
This new penthouse you got behind you. I don't know if a kid's really gonna be.
No, you see all this? Can you imagine a kid in this space, bro? They'd be knocking stuff over, scratching up the floors.
Is that the Space Needle behind you? I see as well. Is that Seattle?
It's wallpaper, you know.
That's a cool addition to Columbus. Yeah.
It's awfully bright out here for 7:57 in September, you know. So
yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Hopefully you laughed. Hopefully you learned something. We'll see you next week, same time, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Peace.
Thank you guys for having us, man.
Of course,
problem, man.
Thank you guys.
For joining us.
Take care.
Later.
See ya.